Okay, sorry about that. Alright. Are we good? We're good. Okay. Sorry. No, I'm not muted. Like, I just had to... I mean, I was muted, but I had to go and grab something really fast. But I'm here. I'm here now. Sorry about that, guys. And sorry about the delay. But, yeah, I'm here now. Okay, so... Anyway, hi, I am TeamRoller15, and welcome to my rant stream of the last three Illumination movies that I haven't covered. Hop, the Lorax, and the Grinch. So we're going to cover Hop first, and then the Lorax, and then the Grinch. So, Hop came out in 2011, the Lorax came out a year later in 2012, and the Grinch came out in 2018. So, yeah. So, these movies, yeah, they're pretty infamous, generally speaking. Yeah, but it's Illumination. I mean, what do you expect? These movies are generally not good. They're just not good. I'm sorry, but they're not good. But I mean, it's Illumination. Like, you know them. They don't make good movies, so I can't say I'm surprised. But anyway, let's continue. Let's talk about Hop, which is, in my opinion, it's probably the worst out of all of these. Yeah, I'd say it's probably the worst out of all of these. It just sucks, but let me just skip right to the negatives. Actually, no. Let me skip to the positives. Let me do the positives first. Okay, so Hop is about this, it's a story involving the Easter Bunny. But it's not a very good one. And I don't even feel like reciting the whole plot, but basically, the current Easter Bunny wants his son to take up his role, but the son doesn't want to do that. He wants to drum instead. The son's name is EB, by the way. You can tell what that stands for. So EB doesn't want to be the Easter Bunny. He wants to be a drummer instead. So he runs away from home to do exactly that. And so he goes to Hollywood, where he meets some human named Fred, who's having trouble finding a job and moving out of his parents' home, and his parents want him to move out of the nest. So EB and Fred meet at one point while Fred is house sitting the mansion for some rich guy, and the two get into some weird mishaps, but oh yeah, and the Easter Bunny dad or whatever sends out a bunch of bunny ninjas to find his son and bring him back home. They find Fred instead, thinking he killed EB, the son, because EB faked his death by putting his clothes on a turkey and then sticking it in the oven. Sticking it in a pot on a stove and boiling it. And apparently the bunnies were too stupid to realize it wasn't EB, so they think that Fred killed EB, so they thought that Fred had killed EB, so they brought him back to Easter Island or whatever. Oh yeah, and the Easter Bunny's his henchman or whatever, his second in command or whatever, Carlos, some chick with a Hispanic accent or what the fuck ever, is also planning to take the Easter Bunny throne for himself, and EB comes back to Easter Island to save Fred and his father, and from Carlos, who decided to just take the throne for himself by force, and yeah, they saved the day, and Carlos gets defeated or whatever, and Fred finally found a job that gives him meaning. That job being, being the Easter Bunny, because the current Easter Bunny was like, you know what, I'm gonna make both my son and this human the Easter Bunny. They can be co-Easter Bunnies. Oh yeah, and the son decides to be an Easter Bunny after not wanting to for the whole movie, and because reasons, but I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, they both become the Easter Bunnies, and the son Fred comes back to his family for one night and has brunch with them, and then he shows his family that he's the Easter Bunny now, and his father's like, you know what, son, I'm actually proud of you. And then the fucking human and the Fred and EB go off. They ride off into the sky or whatever, and that's the end of the movie. It's a very stupid movie. It's just, there's a lot wrong with it. But let me just get the positives out of the way first, because there aren't very many. So, the person who played EB, who voiced EB, I think, what was his name, Russell Brand or whatever, I'm going to say that his voice acting was quite good. The script was shit, but his voice acting was quite good. I will say that much. I actually liked his take on the character EB. I liked his take on the character, because EB actually did have some good lines here and there, so I actually did like the voice actor here. I think he did a good job, even though he had to work with a shitty script. And another thing that I liked about the movie was the fact that I thought that the Easter factory looked cool. I thought it looked cool. Because at the beginning there's really nice animation of it, of all the machines and shit making candy and eggs and whatnot. So, yeah, it was nice. That's all I can say about the movie. There's really not much I can say in terms of... Oh, shit. Hey, Maple. Damn. Holy shit, I literally just looked at the chat right now. It certainly sounds stupid. Yeah, the movie's fucking stupid. It's very, very stupid, and you'll see why in a moment. There's just a lot. It's just, I don't know where to start with this. It's just so bad. It's so fucking bad. Some people actually like this, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? No, I'm kidding. I can't really talk because I like Spider-Man 3, but but I'm sorry, but you can like this movie, but it's just so bad. Oh my god, it's so bad. No, this movie was made by Illumination, not Sony. Sony did not make this. They made Open Season, and that sucked, but they didn't make this. Yeah, the Grinch is very meh, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that soon. Don't worry. But hi, Thomas, Angel of Speed, Maple. There was another person. Oh, Ben Diamond. But yeah. Oh yeah, and yeah, James Marden, the guy who plays Fred in this movie. Yeah, he's also the same guy who's the lead cop in the Sonic movies, basically Sonic's guardian. Because apparently James Marden likes to be in movies with CGI anthropomorphic animals. I guess you can think of Sonic as a better version of Hop. Basically, that's all I'm gonna say. Sonic the Hedgehog is basically a better version of Hop. That, in my opinion, both movies. Anyway, but yeah, Hop. Where do I start with this one? I've heard bad things about the Smurf movies. I've never watched them. I don't care to. I'm sorry, I just don't. I thought about it at one point, but I was like, no. I was just like, no. But anyway. Okay, so Hop, where do I start with this one? Because there's a lot wrong with it. First of all, the plot was very stupid. It was very stupid. Like, I mean, it sounded okay on paper, the idea of, somebody not wanting to have this responsibility, that their parents are pushing onto them. That trope is fine. It's been done plenty of times, but that's fine. Like I don't have any problems with the trope. I just think it was used very, very badly in this film. And okay, so as I said, the plot is about EB, this anthropomorphic bunny who doesn't want to be the Easter Bunny. So he runs away from home, finds a human, and shit happens, and yeah. Okay, so it's not a very good plot. Like for one thing, at the end of the movie, like the EB, the fucking main character, is all like, you know what, I'm gonna be the Easter Bunny. And then the dad's like, but wait, what about your dream of being a drummer? And then EB's like, oh, I can do both. And I'm like, you are literally just deciding this now. You went through all this fucking trouble in the movie, and you're literally just now deciding, oh, I can do both. And fuck you! Like, no, this is a waste of time. Fuck you! Like, oh my god! Like, you're saying, oh, I can do both. No, fuck you. You didn't want to do both. You wanted to do only one, and now you're like, oh, I could do both. Shut up! Shut up! Just shut up! Just shut the fuck up! Just shut up, please. Shut the fuck up. Not to mention that the movie is just very boring. It's just so boring. Like, I literally had to pause multiple times and do something else because it was just that uninteresting. Because, like, it's just... Like, you have a fucking anthropomorphic animal in CGI who befriends a human, and you manage to make that premise boring. How does that happen? How are you so fucking inept at making something like this entertaining? I just don't understand it. I don't. I just like, this movie's so boring. Like, it's not interesting. I was bored from start to finish. I was just bored from start to finish. Like, at one point, like, Fred has this interview at this video game company, and EB... Okay, so it's implied that EB messes it up, but we don't really see that. Like, EB was, like, causing a bit of mayhem in the building or whatever, and at one point he decides to, like, have a drumming session with a bunch of blind musicians, who aren't really blind, by the way, but whatever. And then he gets this. One of the musicians tells him that he can go and audition for this talent show that's actually run by David Hasselhoff. Yes, David Hasselhoff is actually in this film, believe it or not. I don't know why, but he is. And so is the girl who plays Penny from the show Big Bang Theory. She's in this one too. Like, so much, like, several talented individuals are in this film, and it just feels like a waste. This film just wasted their talent. Like, why are these people even here in this movie? Like it's just a waste of talent. Like, they should have done something else. They deserved better. All of them. But yeah, I can't name a single thing in this movie that actually entertained me. Oh yeah, and there's also, at the end of this movie, there's also this showdown with, like, fucking Carlos and between Carlos and EB. That was boring. Yeah, this movie just wasn't very entertaining. It was boring from start to finish. The whole interview segment was boring. Yeah, it was just boring. Like, it's just like I'm sorry, I just can't name a single thing about this movie that actually entertained me. Not one. I mean, EB's one good drummer. It was nice hearing him drum, but that's it. Yeah, David Hasselhoff, who made cameos in the SpongeBob movie and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The latter of which I have not seen. I've seen only the SpongeBob movie, not the other film. But anyway. Kaylee Cuoco is also the voice of Harley Quinn for the HBO series. I did not know that. Huh. Interesting. The more you know. But yeah, EB impresses David Hasselhoff at the audition, but when it's time for him to like go to the talent show for real, he's like, "Oh, I can't go. Like my friend is in trouble and he needs me and I abandoned him." Okay, first of all, and this leads to my next point. First of all, bitch. First of all, you two are not friends. You're not friends. Your relationship with Fred was heavily underdeveloped. You were not friends with him. Throughout most of the movie, you just caused him nothing but trouble. Messing up one of his bedrooms at that mansion he was babysitting, house sitting. Causing problems for him at the interview. And whatnot. And throughout the movie, you've done nothing but cause him problems, and that's very selfish. And you're like, "Oh, I can't leave him behind. He's my friend." No, fuck you. Fuck you. You didn't do anything with him regarding friendship. No, shut up. Just shut up. No, you didn't. No, the fuck you did not. And the movie itself is aware of this. I know the movie itself is aware of this. Because, like, there's this one scene where there's a conversation between EB and Fred. And then EB's like, "Well, I guess it's kind of goodbye. I guess we had some good times." And then Fred's like, "Yeah, no, except maybe once." And I'm like, okay, so the movie knows that these two have not had any sort of good times together, and you want me to believe that they're friends. No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Just shut up. I don't know what it is with certain writers and not being able to understand one simple fact in storytelling. Relationships need build-up. You can't just call two people friends and then expect the audience to believe it. No, shut up. That's not how it works. Like, you have to work up to that point. You gotta show that shit. Don't tell me that they're friends. Show me. For the most part, they are not friends. They are not. Because, again, throughout the entire movie, EB did nothing but cause problems for Fred and act like a selfish dick. And now he's all like, "Oh, I can't do this. I gotta go and save Fred." Shut up. Just shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Illumination, you really have to get better writers at one point, because you guys are just really lacking in that department. Regarding my fourth point on this this list of bullet points, I kind of already covered this, but I'll say it again. The main conflict of the movie, that being that EB doesn't want to be the Easter Bunny, he wants to be a drummer instead. Again, it was resolved very simply, because at the end he's like, "Oh, I guess I can do both." And I'm like, you literally just spent the entire movie whining that you wanted to be only one thing, and now you're like, "Oh, I'll do both." No, that's not writing. That's just fucking lazy. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Like, just shut up. No, that's not good writing. You don't run away from home and cause problems for literally everyone around you, and then come back and say, "You know what? I can do both. I don't have to be just the Easter Bunny. I can be a drummer too." No, shut up. Just shut the fuck up. You waited too long You waited too long to make that decision. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. So it's basically Christmas in April instead of July? Yeah, exactly. I'll just go ahead and skip to the last point. This movie feels like a Christmas film for some stupid reason. Like, it's supposed to be about Easter, but for whatever reason, they made the whole island feel like Christmas. You have chickens who are basically elves. Well, chicks, I should say. And there's even a fucking sleigh. No joke. The vehicle that the Easter Bunny uses is basically a sleigh. It's just purple instead of red. And the chicks literally fly the sleigh like reindeer. It's just, like, it feels like Christmas, but it's Easter. And I'm like, why? Just why? Oh my god. Fucking hell, Rise of the Guardians did the whole Easter thing a lot better than this movie did. That's all I'm going to say. I prefer to watch the live-action Peter Rabbit movie from Sony over this any day now. Yeah, I've heard that the Peter Rabbit film is a lot better than this one, but I haven't watched it. I don't know, there's only so much I can take of James Corden. James Corden is someone I simply don't care about. Not because I don't like him, I just don't care about him. I've heard bad things about him. I'm just indifferent towards him. I know about his carpool karaoke segments. I don't care about them. I don't care. I watched one with Adele, and I was like, yeah, this doesn't interest me. And James Corden was also in this Cinderella movie, like not the 2015 one, the one that stars Camila Cabello or whatever. And from what I've heard, that one's awful, and I can see why. I haven't watched it, but I've seen snippets of it, and it's just no. And James Corden is just really, really irritating in that movie. The problem with him is that he just comes off as a very... Yeah, exactly, Maple. You beat me to it. He's just very unfunny and obnoxious. Like, very loud, very attention-seeking. Like, just trying way too hard to be entertaining and failing miserably. Which is sad because if you actually look at his if you look at his days of being an entertainer, like his earlier days, where he was just a regular comedian on like British TV, he actually wasn't that bad. But now he's just really loud and unfunny and obnoxious. I'm guessing he's trying to do this to appeal to, I guess, Americans, but even Americans don't like him, so I don't know. There are plenty of Americans that don't like him either. It's just, I don't think anyone does. I don't know. Oh, Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, I remember that. Show. It was a good show. Well, it was decent. James Marsden also played Cyclops in the original X-Men movies, although he didn't get much to do in those films. Oh, okay. But yeah, this film for whatever reason feels like Christmas instead of Easter. Okay, cool. What the fuck? Anyway. Okay, so another thing that you know, oh my god. So this film's CGI, it doesn't look very good. It really doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. The rabbits just feel ugh. Like I don't like their models. They just kind of look ugly. The chicks too. More like the chicks, the rabbits more than the chicks, but you know, it's just not good CGI all around, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Maybe the CGI didn't look so bad back then, but it certainly didn't age well, because it looks kind of ugly. It's just not like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where the CGI actually looked good. No, this looks bad. It just looks bad. This movie, for whatever reason, exists, right? It's a movie that just exists. It's just there. And I don't know why. But yeah, the CGI doesn't look very good. And the film, okay, so as I said, Illumination has poor writers. They just do, because this film is not funny. As I said, the script is shit. It's shit. Most of the jokes that the film tries to attempt just don't land. A few of them do, but most of them do not. This film made me chuckle only like maybe once or twice. For the most part, I was just staring at it all blank faced or whatnot. This film is so basic. I swear to God, like, it's just so basic. In fact, out of all the Illumination movies, this one is probably the worst. Yes, even worse than Sing 2. And Sing 2 was not good. But at least Sing 2 was entertaining. This was just not. Like, holy shit, this movie is just not good. Oh my God. And you know the whole trope about, oh look, there's a talking animal, we can't let other people know about it because they'll freak out and the talking animal will probably get kidnapped and experimented on and shit. Yeah, this film doesn't really do that trope all that well. Because literally, there were times where EB actually spoke in front of people and no one gave a shit. Or barely reacted. And I was like, so why do we have to, so why can't he just talk around people? Why is Fred so worried that people are gonna why is Fred worried when literally nobody gives a shit? Like, it's just like, come on, come the fuck on. Like, just come the fuck on. Like, nobody cares. So why make it a big deal in the first place? Like, now, to be fair, I'm not saying that you can't do that in the movie, like where you have a trope like that, but then you subvert it, because that's what Turning Red did. Because if you remember, the protagonist was worried about everyone, finding out that she could turn into a red panda, but when everyone found out, they actually didn't mind. So the trope was subverted there, but it worked there. It just doesn't work here because it just falls flat. Like it's like, okay, so, like, it's just not satisfying the way this movie did it. It's just not satisfying at all. It just falls flat. Their attempt at subverting the trope. It doesn't work. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Like, this is not a good film. It's just not. Like, for one thing, if nobody cares that there's a talking bunny, then why not capitalize on it by making it so that everyone is like fawning over the bunny, like, oh my God, he's so cute and he drums, oh, he's so cool and shit. No, it's just like, oh, a talking bunny, okay, and then they just leave. Sure. So this movie is basically like a bad version of Turning Red. When it comes to the whole trope of not wanting people to find out that, that you're basically a talking animal, yes. Actually, no. In a way, it's worse than Turning Red regarding another trope. The trope of, I want to do what I want, and I don't want my parents to control my life. Turning Red did that too, but Turning Red did it a lot better. So yeah, Hop is basically a worse version of Turning Red in a sense. LOL. It's just fucking sad. I'm sorry, because this movie could have been good, but at least decent. But it just wasn't. It just was not good. Oh my God. Yeah, why didn't the people give, like, the bunny ninjas, the pink berets, voices? I just found it weird how they couldn't talk. It would have been nice to hear some dialogue from them. But no, they literally don't talk. All they just do is make hand signs and gestures and shit like that. Like, that's literally all they do. This movie sucks. Oh my God. I'm glad Illumination Entertainment learned from this mistake after this movie's release and decided not to make any more live-action movies after that. Yeah, I'm glad. This is the only live-action movie they've ever made. They should just stick to animation. Just stick to animation. Just stick to animation. And another thing that's really weird about this movie is that, okay, so the Easter Bunny works like only one day a year. and Fred's like, "Oh, I finally found a job that I feel I can get some sort of purpose from." And I'm like, "Dude, the Easter Bunny works only one day a year technically. I mean, granted, there's some time for preparation before that. Like you have to like get all the shit, candy and shit ready. But even so, that's like only a fraction of the year. So what the fuck are you gonna do for the rest of the year? Like your job is seasonal. So what are you gonna do for the rest of the year?" And then the dad's all like, "Oh, I'm proud of my son for finally making something out of himself." Dude, he works a seasonal job. What the fuck is he gonna do for the rest of the year? Like, I just, like, you should be worried. Like, what the fuck is this movie's writing? Oh my god. Oh my god. This movie's so stupid. And like, I just, and going back to the whole drumming thing that EB wanted to do, we don't even see him drum anymore after he helps Fred and his dad escape and defeat Carlos. We don't even see him do it anymore. So it's like, okay, you say you want to do both, but we literally just see you doing Easter shit and that's it. So we don't even get to see him drum like in Hollywood or whatever, which would have been nice to see, but I guess that would have taken writing talent, so whatever. Yeah, exactly. This movie just feels very low effort. Like like Illumination, it feels like in some areas they tried, but in other areas they just didn't. And I feel like the writing is just the one area where they just didn't care, and it shows a lot. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Pink Berets, at one point when Carlos starts overthrowing the entire factory, like taking it over, like he actually shoots chocolate at the Pink Berets, and which hardens and turns them into statues. And I'm like, okay, so is anyone gonna like get them out, or like are they dead? Are they frozen forever or shit like that? Because that's kind of scary when you think about it. Because like, because like it's just weird. Because I'm like, oh shit, like I hope Carlos literally just didn't commit murder right there. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. This movie is just stupid. But another thing here, let me add this bullet point. Let me add another bullet point. I think I've covered all the main points here. Okay, so the characters are weak. They're weak, except for EB, sort of. EB, he can be witty at times, but for the most part, he's just not very funny. Fred's just Fred. He's okay, I guess. He's just kind of there. He's basic, not anything impressive. The Easter Bunny dad is just the Easter Bunny dad. I mean, he's okay, I guess. Carlos is just, for whatever reason, he speaks with a foreign accent. I don't know why. Oh yeah, and EB and his dad speak in a British accent for whatever reason. And Fred and all the other humans speak in an American accent, which makes sense because, you know, the movie was set in Hollywood, but it's like, why are there so many different accents? It just doesn't make any sense. But really, I feel like I mean, EB and his dad were I guess they were okay characters. Could have been better, but they were okay. Fred is just okay. Like he's just like kind of boring in my opinion. He's just kind of boring. And the other characters are just forgettable, basically. So yeah, the most of the characters are pretty much just bland and forgettable, except for a few. Sad face. How much did this movie even make at the box office? Because I think like it's probably one of Illumination's biggest failures, if not their biggest failure. Let me look this up really fast. To date, Hop is the lowest grossing film released by Illumination. Yes, it is the biggest flop. Hop is the biggest flop. Hop the flop. Okay, so the budget was $63 million. The box office was $184.4 million. So I guess it was not a failure, sort of. But it seems to be barely a success. I don't know. I just don't know. It had to be a bomb if there have been no other live action movies from them. You're right. You're absolutely right, Maple. Like literally, it's their biggest failure. Like holy shit. Chris Meledandri, the CEO of Illumination, the producer of Despicable Me franchise and the Sing franchise. Yeah, this man, you fam, you gotta do better with these movies. I'm tired of seeing your name everywhere in these movies because it reminds me that you're just not very good when it comes to this shit. You're just not. You're the fucking CEO. You gotta step it up. Step up your game. Step up your fucking game, fam. Your company is shit. When it comes to writing, your company is shit. It's shit. Come on, get it together. Anyway, but yeah, like this movie is just bad. Like it's not even just boring. It's outright bad. It's bad and boring. Like it's possible for a movie not to be boring but to be bad, and it's possible for a movie to be the opposite. Like it can be boring but not bad, and bad but not boring. But this one is just both. Like I don't know. This film just sucks. How many negatives do I have here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 negatives. And there are probably more, but whatever. I'm just not even gonna. I'm just like I don't even know what else I can say about this movie because I think I've covered all the main points. And Hop was their most negatively received and criticized film too. Yes, it was. Not enough. I don't know what else to say. Here, let me look up Hop on IMDb. I want to see. I know. It's IMDb, and so their scores won't always be accurate. But okay, so it's a 5.4 out of 10 for IMDb. On IMDb, I mean. Let's see. What about Metacritic? (41) is 41's the meta score, and 4.9 is the user score. Oh yeah, another thing that makes EB a selfish prick in this movie. So he met Fred accidentally hits him with the car, and EB decides to blackmail Fred into letting him stay at the mansion, because Fred had injured him. So yeah, that's just another of the selfish things EB did. That's all I wanted to say, because yeah, EB is just a prick in this one. Which I don't exactly have a problem with, not necessarily. It's just that as long as he gets character development, then, it's fine. But he barely got any. No, in fact, he didn't get any. He goes from selfish to selfless in like one scene, and I'm just like, no, stop. You just stop, Illumination. You don't know how to write. It even holds a 24% Rotten Tomatoes with a green spot on it. Oh yeah, that's right, it does. I don't watch Hop anymore. Good, don't. It's a bad film. It is a very, very bad film. I'm sorry, like, I gave it a chance. I knew that people didn't like it, so I gave it a chance, and I was like, no, ew, gross. I'm done watching this. I don't regret buying it. The Blu-ray DVD digital combo from Amazon. I don't regret buying it, but ew. So yeah, Hop. Other than, you know, some good voice acting from EB, Russell Brand for EB, the character, as well as a nice looking Easter factory. Well, yeah, the movie just sucks outright. I can't even comment on the music because, like, I have no, like, I don't even I don't even fucking remember. Oh yeah, like, there was some pop songs in there. The music, I guess the music was okay. I don't really remember a lot of it, but it was okay. It was alright. It was alright, I guess. I didn't have a problem with it. So at least they didn't fuck that up. But Illumination, what were you guys thinking when you made this film? What were you thinking? What were you freaking thinking? And I feel kind of bad for James Marsden for being in this film. But hey, I mean, at least he upgraded when he became a character in the Sonic movies, so there's that. Sometimes you have to start at the bottom before you... Actually, you pretty much have to... You usually have to start at the bottom before you get to the top, so... Yeah, there's that, right? But yeah, fuck Hop. Anyway. Yeah, this movie's just not good. Now, let's move on to The Lorax. The Lorax. Okay, another film that people didn't like. And I can see why. I'm sorry, but most of Illumination's movies are just not good. They're not. But anyway, The Lorax. Okay. So, full disclaimer, I have never read the book. I knew that there was a book, but I have never read it. I've never read the book. So, I can't comment on how faithful the movie is as an adaptation of the book. From what I've heard, it's not that faithful. There are some things that it changes. But I can't really comment on that. Plus, you know, it's fine for an adaptation to change things. I mean, that's kind of why it's called an adaptation. As long as it doesn't fuck up the product then I'm fine with adaptations taking liberties wherever necessary. But I can't comment on how good the adaptation is because I've never read the book. I can only comment on how the movie is, and it's not good. It's just not good. I mean, it's better than Hop, I will give it that, but that's not saying much. That's not saying much. Okay, so, I guess I can talk about the positives first. I mean... Well, the animation's good. It's good. I like how colorful everything is. The art style... I like the art style as well. This is subjective. I know some people probably don't like it, but I like it. The animation art style are good, in my opinion. I like them. Like, the movie does look pretty. It looks pretty, and all the characters move fluidly and whatnot. Like, it's a nice looking CGI film. But it's not surprising because Illumination is known for having good animation. That's literally the only thing they're consistent in. Well, along with bad writing. But, yeah. but yeah, really, the animation art style are good. I liked how the humans looked. I liked how the animals in the forest looked. I liked how everything looked. So it's a nice looking film, but it has problems. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard nice things about the Lorax either. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the voice actors. The voice actors. The voice actors. They're. Let me just change this to was, and were. The voice actors were good. Taylor Swift wasn't bad. Her acting was decent. Zac Efron's acting was all right, just all right. Danny DeVito, I liked his performance. Granted, he had a shitty script to work with, but I liked his performance as the Lorax. I mean, who doesn't like Danny DeVito? I like him. I like his voice. But I mean, it's too bad that he had a shitty script to work with. Unfortunately. But yeah. Oh, and of course you have Betty White. Betty White's like Betty White. Everyone loves Betty White. Like you can't hate someone who was once a member of the Golden Girls. Like, come on, it's Betty White. I liked her performance. She always I like how she played the badass grandma. But yeah, the voice acting was overall solid. And the voice acting for what was his name? The Onceler, whatever. I forgot what his name was. Yeah, the Onceler. His voice acting was fine. Yeah, so yeah, the voice acting was overall solid. Yeah, Betty White. I hated that she died recently. Good rip, rest in peace, one of the greats. I mean, she lived a pretty long life, at least. She was almost 100 and she died. But hey, I mean, she still lived a pretty long life. Rest in peace, Betty White. You will be missed. Thank you for being a friend. Anyway. Anything else? The music. The music was decent. It was decent. Not too memorable, but it served its purpose. There were a few tracks there that I liked. There were a few that I didn't pay much attention to, but yeah. I mean, there were a few songs I liked, like the song where the Onceler sings about making money and saying, oh, who cares if a few trees die? It's not gonna hurt anyone and shit. I like that song. I forgot what it was called, but I like that song. And I also like the first song that plays during the credits. So the music wasn't terrible. Okay. Animation, art style, voice acting, music. So now we have I think what we have left is plot. I think plot's left. I'm trying to think of anything else I might not have covered. Oh, humor as well. Okay, so plot and humor, which are the biggest problems with this movie. So, okay. Okay, so the movie has nice aesthetics, basically. And I liked the voice acting was alright. But then you have the negatives. Okay. Well, for one thing, this movie is not funny. The humor is weak. It was weak. It was quite weak. It just wasn't. It's not something that's just going to make you laugh. There are a few moments that might make you laugh, but they're like, for the most part, the movie has very hit or miss humor, because Illumination is just not good when it comes to humor. They're just not. Except with the minions. Except with the minions. Like, the humor's pretty consistent there, but for everything else, Illumination just sucks when it comes to humor. They just suck. Sorry, but they do. Yeah, this film's just not very funny. There are only a few moments that made me laugh, but for the most part, I was just like, okay, that's not funny, that's not funny, that's not funny. Clearly, these writers have never told a joke before. That's not funny, that's not funny. Just stop trying. Just stop. Oh, you saw this movie with your dad, Thomas? But yeah, the humor sucks. And the plot. Okay, the plot. Okay, so the plot. Okay, so the theme of the movie is pro-environmentalism, which is consistent with the book. So the movie is that faithful, that much faithful. But like, I can't comment on how faithful it is as a whole, because again, I've never read the book. But yeah, both the book and the movie have a message about, saving the environment. And the main conflict in this movie is that this guy who wants to become a successful businessman invents something that everyone wants, but ends up having to destroy the environment to meet demands. And he ends up running out of things to make his invention with. And not only that, but he completely destroys the entire environment. Everything's all dark and dirty and grimy and shit. The trees are all dead and shit, and all the animals have to relocate. And the Lorax, who was a guardian of the forest, by the way, he just wasn't happy with the businessman. But fortunately, the Onceler, the businessman who destroyed the entire forest, entrusts one task to this kid named Ted, who, like, he wants Ted to go and plant the last seed of the trees that once grew in that area. So Ted does exactly that, and the trees start growing again. Of course, he meets some opposition. He has opposition from the city's government, run by this guy. I forgot what his name was. I don't care to look it up. But he basically doesn't want trees to grow because trees provide clean air, which he basically sells as commodity, because no trees means shitty air. So like, he makes a business out of selling clean air to people. And yeah. And that's basically the plot of the movie. Oh, but for most of the movie, like, Ted goes to the Onceler and hears his story about how everything came to ruin in the first place. Yeah, the movie is just basically one big flashback. So that's all I'm going to say. And I don't think it helps the films at all. I really don't think it does. Like, I'm like, why make this a flashback? We can literally just, like, make it just something that happened. Like the whole thing did not need to be a flashback, in my opinion. I don't know why they made it into one. It just didn't need to be one. They could have literally just made it something that happens in the plot, not something that happened before the actual plot, which there isn't much of. And yeah, I'm just gonna say right now, the plot is quite lacking. Or I should say, was lacking. It was lacking. Because again, I get the message of, environmentalism and whatnot, but like the movie does kind of a crappy job with it. like like for one thing, okay, the boy Ted, who like he I don't know why this even happens, but he I don't know, like he finds this exit out of town, and I'm surprised it wasn't guarded. I don't know why it wasn't guarded, but even though there are cameras in that area or whatever, uh, he leaves town to go and talk to the Oncer because he wants to find a tree. He wants to bring his love interest a tree because the town doesn't have actual trees. They have plastic trees, plastic everything basically, because they destroyed literally the environment. They had destroyed the environment, so. Uh, and so he goes to the Oncer, who tells him the entire story about um about how everything came to ruin in the first place. But for whatever reason, the Oncer doesn't just tell Ted the entire story in one sitting. Ted literally has to come back multiple times. So like you could tell this movie was just dragging its feet. The plot was literally just dragging its feet. Like, I'm just like, you guys could have just had the Oncer tell the entire story in just one go. Like, he didn't need to come back multiple times. Even Ted was like, you can just tell me more of the story, But the Oncer's like, nah, come back tomorrow. And I'm like, bitch, just tell him the fucking story so we can get this plot moving. Come on. Damn. But no, he literally has to come back twice, and I'm just like, oh my god, the pacing is shit. It is so shit. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the movie's pacing needs it just wasn't very good, and like I have to wonder why the Oncer didn't just go and plant the last seed himself. Like, what was stopping him from doing it? But no, he literally goes and asks a kid to do it instead. And apparently a lot of time passed since the destruction of the forest, because apparently the Oncer has this gray beard now. So I'm like, fam, why didn't you just go and plant the damn seed yourself? What was stopping you from doing it? I don't get it. Why'd you have a kid do it for you? You could have just done it yourself. Were you too ashamed to show your face back in town? I don't like. I just. Why didn't you just go back and do this yourself? You could have restored the environment long ago. What was stopping you from doing it? Like, you didn't have to go and shut yourself away for years. And just this movie. Okay, I just no. You think of Horton Hears a Who when the Lorax comes up. I've never seen Horton Hears a Who. I don't think I have. I've heard of it, of course, but I've never seen it. But I will say that most of the flashback was entertaining. So like we got to see how the Oncer started off. Like how he's started off his business. At first, he chopped down one tree at first, but then after the Lorax, who was the guardian of the forest, told him, no, don't do that, please. Like, don't. We need these trees. The Oncer was like, okay, fine, I won't chop down anymore. But then people wanted more of the Oncer's invention, so he decided to collect the tufts, the leaves from the trees, but that was taking too long, so he decided to just cut them all down. He wasn't going to cut them all down at first, but then he was like, you know what, let me just cut down a few. But then he went and got greedy and shit, so he ended up cutting down all the trees. So the flashback itself was fine. It's just that the way it was used in the plot wasn't. Because again, it literally could have just been the plot itself rather than just a flashback. And the monster literally could have just changed things himself. He didn't need to ask some kid to do it. I don't know. Just no. Just one big no for me. The characters. Let me talk about the characters. The characters were generally crap. I'm sorry, but they were. Like the Ted, you know, the kid who wanted to go plant a tree, he was boring. His love interest was boring. His mom was boring. The villain was boring. The grandma wasn't boring. She wasn't boring. The Lorax wasn't boring. The monster wasn't boring. Those three were actually interesting. Everyone else sucked. Like, those three carried the film. The others just dragged it down. They're all boring. Like, it's just boring. All around boring. Oh, Blue Sky Studios made Horton Hears a Who? Wow, I didn't know that. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, the characters kind of sucked. Anything else I could say regarding this movie? I think that's it, really. I'm trying to think of anything else to say about this movie, but... Oh, right. So one criticism I've heard of regarding this movie was that it had a less nuanced message than the book did. Because the book apparently had this message that acknowledged both sides of the argument for environmentalism and against environmentalism. Whereas the movie literally just outright says, environmentalism good, company bad. But that's what I've heard, though. So I'm just bringing it up. I can't comment on I can't make comparisons regarding the book and the movie, like, but I just want to bring up that that's one criticism I've heard of this movie. But anyway, let me see. Damn, I'm actually reading this review right now, and it does mention a few of the points I brought up regarding the whole flashback shit. Yeah, exactly. That was just really annoying. Like, it wasn't the focal point of the movie. It was just more of a distraction, and I'm like, that was just annoying to me. Like, it would have been like, I guess it's fine as a flashback. It's just that the flashback itself wasn't really used all that well, because apparently the book also, like, in the book, like a boy was told the story of how the forest was destroyed or whatever. But like here, it's just like they didn't use the flashback shit very well. It was just, I don't know. It was just annoying. But anyway, I think I've just about covered everything regarding this movie. There's not much else I can say about it. Oh yeah, I mean, I could say the script was shit, but that just ties into the first point, so I'm not gonna bother writing it down. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say really. Like it's the Lorax. I don't really have much to say about this movie. All I can just say is that it just could have been better. I think the problem was just the plot structure and the humor and the characters. Oh, and there's another thing that's also not very good about the movie. Ted's love interest liked him only because he brought her a tree. Like for whatever reason, Ted was perfectly fine with, being liked by a girl if he got what she wanted. Only because she got what she wanted. Like I'm like, dude, she kissed you only after you like got her a tree and planted it in the middle of town. I wouldn't call that real love, but no, he's like, oh, this is cool. Like the movie wants us to think it's real love. It's not. It's not, fam. It's not. Like I would have been I would have been fine with this relationship between the two if it had been written better. Like Ted, with Ted, realizing, what, I don't have to do shit like this to win the affections of a girl. I can just be myself or whatever and just tell her how I feel. But no, it's like, oh, let me just go and be an environmentalist and save the day and she'll love me. No, fuck you. Fuck that message. No, fuck that shit. Literally fuck that shit. No. Just no. Just no. That is not healthy. And another thing, I'm reading this review, and it just pointed out something that I that I honestly could have brought up earlier, but for some reason just neglected to. Um, I kind of mentioned it, but there was another part to it that I should have mentioned. So like at the end of the movie, like the Onester finally comes out of his house, and then the Lorax, and you can see like little tree stumps growing around his home, so the environment's starting to restore itself. And the Lorax comes out of the sky because he left. He that's how he appeared in the first place. So he came out of the sky, and then he goes to Onestler and then tells him, "I'm proud of what you did." And I'm like, he didn't do anything. He literally just had a kid do the work for him. You should be thanking the kid, not the one. Well, you can thank the Onestler, but like you should be thanking the kid as well. Like just all the Onestler just did was tell Ted to go and plant the seed. That's it. Like and you're like, oh, I'm proud of you, Onestler. No, bitch, he didn't do much. Shut the fuck up. You could have just gone and planted the seed yourself, or accompanied the kid. Like, you could have done that. No, you didn't. You didn't. And we don't even get to see the Ted or his family after they plant the seed. It would have been nice to see them meet the Lorax and shit, so the Lorax could, actually thank them for saving the environment. But no, that didn't happen. Like, I'm just like, that never made any sense to me. Like, why didn't Ted show up at the end with his family? Because they helped save the day. But no, the Onester basically gets all the credit for in the Lorax's eyes, and I'm like, nah, just fuck off with that. Like, really, the redemption here just really wasn't all that well deserved. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. Because the Onester barely did anything. Like, he could have solved this problem a lot sooner than he did. But he didn't do that. He just locked himself up in the house and stayed there for years. He could have fixed this problem long ago, but he didn't. And Laura saw like, oh, I'm proud of you. Like, nah, bitch, nah. He doesn't deserve such words. Another thing that well, actually, wait, I'm trying to think. Okay, so one last thing I want to say about this movie. Its environmentalist message was poorly delivered. It was. Because, for one thing, I feel like the movie was a little too on the nose about how, about preserving the environment. Like it was blatantly, it was basically like, environment good, save the environment. And it's just like, and it kept beating you over the head with that message throughout the entire film. And like, I'm fine with messages being obvious, but like we don't need to make them that obvious. And plus, like, and the fucking way Ted and his family convinced everyone else to start wanting to plant trees again was kind of forced. Like, it was just kind of forced. And I say this because it's like, okay, so trees, like, planting more trees can help regarding the environment, but really the lack of trees weren't the only problem with the film. The problem was also, weren't the only problem that the film was trying to express. The problem was also greed. That, that, like, it was trying to tackle the the issue of corporalism, or whatever it's called, like, of, just greed from companies. Like, that was the issue with the film, not just the environmentalist themes. So yeah, you fixed the issue of there not being trees, but like, have you fixed the issue of, like, the issue of corporate greed? Like, did you fix that? Because I feel like the movie was trying to do that, but just didn't do a very good job at it. Because, like, what's stopping the same thing from happening again? Like, did the humans learn, okay, we really shouldn't be living such a consumeristic lifestyle. We should be trying not to let our greed get in the way of preserving what's really important. The environment. But, like, this movie was basically anti-exploitation, but it didn't really do a good job of conveying that message. Instead, the movie just told you what to think, and in such a clumsy way. It's just no. Because literally, the movie was just like, okay, let's just plant trees again, the problem is solved. No, because again, you still have the issue of corporate greed. Like, what's stopping something from happening again? Something like that from happening again? Like, they could have delivered a more nuanced message, but they didn't. So yeah, this film had a good premise, but the execution was kind of crap. But in any case, that is the Lorax. It wasn't as bad as Hop, but it could have been better. Okay. And now let's get to the Grinch. The Grinch. It was boring. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I've watched the original, like, I think I watched it twice. Once as a kid and once once in college for some assignment. So I know the story. Like, of course, who doesn't know the story? But so I know the story, so I can comment on how faithful the movie is to the story. I mean, it's faithful to the story. It's pretty faithful to the story, yet it still fails. I just, like, it's not a bad movie, but it's not good either. It's just very, very meh. It's very basic, very boring, very like, it's just, like, I'm not gonna say that Illumination didn't try with this one. I feel like they kind of tried, but they just failed. Like, this film is just basic. Like, that's the word. That's the best word I can use to describe this film. Basic. It is super basic. Like, I remember the animated film. The animated film was good, but this was just not nearly as good in comparison. And even if you ignore the animated film, even if you've never watched it, and you watch this movie by itself, it's still not all that interesting. I'm sorry, it's just no. I'm just gonna start with the negatives now. The film is boring. It's just boring. It's very meh. Like, for one thing, the humor is very lacking. There are a few moments that will make you laugh, but for the most part, the humor just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's just not a very funny movie. And yeah, the film, as I said, it's faithful, but it's faithful to the original story. But like, surprisingly, I was just bored with the film. Not as bored as say Hop, but still bored with it. Like, I remember the animated film, like it had some sort of magic to it. Like it's hard to describe, but the animated film was it was quite entertaining. And then there's this, which feels very plastic in comparison, like just plastic and lifeless. It just kind of lacked heart. That's the thing. This film lacks heart. The animated film had heart. The original animated film. This one doesn't. Hence why the film is boring. There's not really much I can say about this film because, like, it's serviceable, but that's really all I can say about it. It's just serviceable. Okay, let's see. Any other negatives? I think that's literally it. I think just the humor was boring, and the humor was boring, and the overall story. It's the same story as the animated film, but it's with some changes here and there, but it's just boring. It's just very boring. Very meh. Although I will admit that there were some interesting things, like, well, for one thing, the animation was good, but that's not surprising. Like, Illumination normally has good animation. I mean, the world looked nice. That's like, the characters looked nice, the snow looked nice, the town looked nice, everything looked nice. But that's all I can say regarding the positives, I think. Oh, and the music was decent. Good. There were some good tracks in there. Nothing too memorable, in my opinion, but overall the tracks did their job. And I like the theft sequence. You know, where the Grinch goes into every town and steals all the lights and candy and Christmas presents and shit. I actually liked it. Like, I actually liked how it went down in this film. I liked the theft sequence. I liked it. Actually liked it. I liked it in the animated film, and I liked it here. In fact, I think this film actually had an even better theft sequence than the animated film did, the original one. So like because I like how the Grinch used like all this technology he made himself to get all these gifts. And I'm like, dude, you're just wasting your powers. You could be using this shit for good. Which he does end up doing at the end of the film when he starts making machines for that character, the little girl, I forgot what her name was. Oh, Cindy Lou or whatever. And her mom and their family. But anyway. But yeah, that sequence is pretty cool. I like the use of machines and shit. Anything else? Oh yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch was the Grinch. So there's that. Yeah. The voice acting was good. Benedict Cumberbatch. He I didn't even realize it was his voice as the Grinch. I honestly didn't even realize it. I was like, oh. Wow, okay. And he did a good job. I didn't even realize it was him. Sorry, I was just lost in thought for a moment. um, the voice actors for Cindy Lou and her mom, they were fine. And the black guy who had the sleigh, I forgot what his name was, but his voice actor was fine. Yeah, the voice acting was overall good. Um, hmm. Any other positives? So, you saw the original 1966 animated TV special, and it's probably one of your favorite holiday specials. Yeah, it was a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. Let's see. So the voice acting was good. Animation, music, art style. Well, I guess I can just put that down here. Anything else? The humor and plot were shit, so I'm not going to say anything about that. Those. Oh, going back to Lorax, I forgot there was one more thing. I liked the car chase sequence at the end of the film. It was entertaining. I liked it. Where Ted and his family were trying to run away from the city's government or whatever, so that they could plant the tree, because the government didn't want them to plant the tree, or the corporation, whatever the fuck they were. So, but that was interesting, and the grandma kicked ass in that scene. So that's another positive. But anyway, going back to the Grinch, I think that's all I can say about the Grinch. Like, the movie looks nice and sounds nice, but it's just kind of basic. Like, it just feels like a bare bones version of the animated film. Oh, there was one musical track I didn't like, the very beginning. Like the one that played at the very beginning. That was basically a rendition of "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." I did not like that rendition. I didn't like it. It felt so like I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It felt so, like, it was just too much of a pop song in my opinion. Like, too auto-tuned and shit. I don't know how to describe it. It just felt very ugh. I just didn't like it. But all the other tracks I didn't have a problem with. And I didn't like the narrator for this film either. I'm sorry, I didn't like him. I liked the narrator in the original film. The narrator in this one just kind of sucked. He just didn't have the same charisma. It really just felt like just some normal guy reading a script. And I was just like, I mean, his performance was serviceable, but that's it. I like the narrator from the original film more. Sorry, not sorry. Oh yeah, there was a live action Grinch movie. I forgot about that one. I literally forgot that one existed. Oh my god. I completely forgot about it. In fact, did I ever finish watching it? I don't remember. I think I watched most of it, but then stopped right before the climax. I can't even remember it all that well. I think it was in... Was it in black and white? I can't remember. I literally cannot remember. I remember what it looks like, but I was it in black and white though? I can't remember if it had color to it. But I literally forgot that I literally forgot that movie existed. I liked it, but I forgot that it existed. I was like, oh yeah, that one exists. That was the one with Jim Carrey. Oh, okay. I forgot it existed. Oh my god. I literally forgot about it. Damn. It's at least better than the 2003 live action Cat in the Hat movie. I remember watching that one in theaters. I liked it, but it wasn't as good as the animated version, clearly. Yeah. But I completely forgot there was a live action Grinch movie. I completely forgot. Damn. Oh well. But yeah, The Grinch is just a very meh movie. It looks like it you know, it's aesthetically pleasing, but like there's just not much under the surface. That Cat in the Hat movie was the biggest guilty pleasure ever. It was. I agree. It was. Like, I've read the book and I've watched the animated version. So like, and I thought the live action one was a faithful, and I thought it was a serviceable adaptation. But yeah, apparently some people didn't like it. I knew that some people didn't like it, but I was like, how could people not like this one? I didn't think it was all that bad. The funniest part of the movie was when the cat accidentally chopped off his tail and went, son of a... Oh, yeah. That was funny. Or what about when he got whacked in the nutsack and then it played easy like Sunday morning for some reason? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was some classic moments in that film. Easy like Sunday morning. I hear that all the time at work, by the way. I hear that song all the time at work. Or at least I used to. I don't think they play it much anymore. Yeah, they play a lot of different genres at my job. From pop to R&B to even old school stuff. But anyway. That movie was a cinematic disaster piece, and I love it so much. You're fired! I don't even remember that part. Damn. I feel like I need to watch that movie again. Along with the live-action Grinch movie. I need to watch those again. They're probably not going to age very well, but I don't care. Let me look them up on Amazon. The live-action Grinch movie. Oh, it was released in 2000. Huh. In the year 2000. Damn. I do not remember it being that. Oh, actually. Yeah, I don't remember it being that old. I thought it was like a little younger than that, but whatever. It was actually a financial success. But anyway, let's see. Oh, apparently it's coming up on TV soon on HBO in like a few days, which I don't care to watch because I don't watch TV anymore. Who watches TV anymore? Like, why, when you have streaming services and YouTube? You're like, I haven't watched cable in years, decades even. But anyway. God damn it. There we go. Is there a 4K version? There's a 4K version! Yo! I want it! After watching whatever this was, I kind of want to go and clean my eyes out with this movie instead. But my mom wants me to stop ordering movies, and I'm like, but can't I just have this one at least? Oh my god, I want this. It's in 4K, which I don't even have a TV for, but whatever. I want at least like I just want it there, just in case I ever get a 4K TV. Actually, like my Xbox One X can play 4K, but my TV can't, so I don't know. But anyway, the finest piece of overacting in cinema history. Damn. Pharrell Williams can't possibly narrate to save his life, even if he tried, to be honest. His voice is so very generic, and it's not only out of place with the movie, but it doesn't fit with the story at all. Thank you! Thank you! That's exactly what I was thinking when I heard the narrator's voice in this in the Illumination version of the Grinch. Like, it was his narration was just not good. It wasn't. Like, the voice didn't fit. I was like, why did they choose this voice? They should not have chosen this voice. I'm sorry, Pharrell Williams, but stick to singing. That's what you're good at. Don't narrate. Please. Just don't. You did not narrate this film all that well. That was probably part of the reason I found it boring. Like, it's just he didn't even try to emote. Like, fam, like come on, you gotta, when you're narrating something, you have to put more emotion into your work. That, like, if he had watched the original film, maybe he would have learned a few things from how the narrator did his role there. Because the narrator in that film was excellent, but here, it's just no. Just no. So yeah, I guess that's another negative I can write. I can type down. The narration was crap. It was crap. I'm sorry, but it was crap. Like, Illumination, could you guys not find a better narrator? Like, the first time I heard a narrator's voice, I was like, what is this? Why did they choose this person? Who the fuck is this? But yeah, I want the Grinch Stole Christmas. Oh man. I want that one. I want to get it, but I'm just gonna, like, not gonna get it right now. I'll wait. I'll save it for later. Anyway. Benedict Cumberbatch does this weird voice with the Grinch. It also doesn't work at all either. I actually thought that the way he handled the Grinch was pretty... I thought it was good. Like, he could have done the voice a bit better, in my opinion, but I thought it was fine enough. But yeah, it just wasn't as good as the original voice for the Grinch. But I don't really have anything else to say regarding the movie. That's the thing. This movie is just very basic. It's very meh. It's more entertaining than The Hot, but that's not saying much. I said the Hop. I meant just Hop, but whatever. I really tore right into that movie. That's honestly his whole character here. He's not really menacing at all. He's just grumpy and weird here. That's probably the issue. Yeah, that's the thing. I've kind of felt that from the movie as well. Like, in the original version, the Grinch, you know, he wasn't just grumpy. He was also menacing. Like, you sense evil within him. Not like to a large degree, because he was still human in a sense. But you sense that, you know, he was basically a villain. Whereas here, he's just more of an outcast. Like a self-imposed outcast in any case. Like he just didn't really feel like much of a villain here. Just someone who wanted to start shit. So yeah, they should have had him do. I feel like they should have had. They should have had him like do something different with the character. But then again, you could probably blame the voice directors for that. I don't think it's really Benedict's fault. It was probably the voice director's fault. Yeah, exactly. For a Grinch, he didn't really act very Grinchy. Just, which I found weird because I was like, because there were moments like he actually acted nicer than the original Grinch, and I was like, this is weird, but for some reason I don't have a problem with it. Like for some reason I just didn't have a problem with it. Like this Grinch is just a softer version, because I remember the original one being meaner. Even to his own dog. I mean, he's mean to his dog here, but not as much. But, yeah. But yeah, I should put that down as a negative as well. The Grinch didn't feel very Grinchy. Kind of feels like they should have just made a different character. That probably would have helped the film, in my opinion. You know, just to make it stand out more, because they were trying to do their own version of the Grinch, but they just failed because it was boring. Like, they probably should have just, you know, taken some more liberties. That probably would have made the film better. Because the way they did the adaptation, it was pretty straight, but, like, it was boring. Honestly, I enjoyed the Jim Carrey version more. Same here. I forgot it existed, but I actually did enjoy it when I last watched it. So, yeah, that version's better than whatever the Grinch, whatever Illumination made. But the Jim Carrey version was good. I want to get it. I think I'm going to try to get it. Because after watching Illumination's version, I just feel like I need to go and watch the Jim Carrey version to cleanse my soul of the boringness that is Illumination's version. I mean, Illumination, I think they kind of tried with this one, but they just didn't. They just, you know, fucked it up. And they picked the worst. They picked such a basic ass narrator. Like, that narrator, no. I did not like his voice or his style of narrating. It was just so very basic. They couldn't. Why would you pick Pharrell Williams? Like, the dude's a singer. He probably hadn't done a lot of narration when he was asked to do it, to narrate this film. I don't know. They could have picked somebody else. They should have picked somebody else. The Jim Carrey version was more memorable. Yes, it was. I want to watch Horton again. I don't think I've ever seen it. I really do need to go and watch that. Or maybe I have seen it. I feel like maybe I saw one of the versions, but I can't remember, honestly. It's been years. I don't know. But yeah, Illumination's version of the Grinch. It was meh. It was serviceable. It was passable. That's the thing. It's just passable. But the same could be said for basically every Illumination movie out there. Except for the first Despicable Me film. And that one was actually good. But pretty much every other Illumination movie ranges from serviceable to shit. Hop was shit. Sing 2 was shit. But all the other movies were just serviceable. The Blue Sky version of Horton is great. So I've heard. I've heard that. I need to go and watch that as well. The Jim Carrey version was pretty much a menace to society. Yeah, like that one, like that Grinch was pretty mean. But this one here just feels like he's mean, but not as much as the other Grinches. Like the Grinch in Illumination's version was pretty tame. Maybe they were trying to take a different direction with this character, but I think they kind of failed. So, I don't know. I don't know. But that's all I can say. The Grinch, a very meh movie. It looks nice. Sometimes it sounds nice, but underneath the surface, there's really not much to the movie. And the crappy humor and narration, as well as the crappy villain, just didn't really help matters. But yeah, that's all I can say about the Grinch. Okay, so conclusion: these movies all suck. But then again, it is Illumination we're talking about. For Illumination, marketing comes first and quality comes second. I can't say that that's always been the case for sure, but I know that it certainly is the case with a lot of their films, if not all of them. So, my ratings. Hop gets a 3 out of 10, and I'm being pretty generous with the 3. The Lorax gets a 4.5 out of 10. The Grinch gets a 5.5 out of 10. So yeah, these movies all suck. Sorry. Let me fix this up. Fix this. And let me just do this, do this, do this. Okay. The subplot involving Cindy Lou was also pretty pointless. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention Cindy Lou. That pretty much just proves your point further, Thomas. The Cindy Lou's subplot was just very basic. Like giving her a subplot wasn't a bad idea, but the execution was crap. They literally could have just cut her subplot out, and the movie would not have changed anything. Nothing would have changed in the movie. Plus, the actual plot of this movie doesn't start until at least 57 minutes in. That's probably why I was bored with the movie. Because at one point I was looking at the timer and I was like, can this movie hurry up? It feels so slow in terms of pacing. And that's another problem with the movie, the pacing. The pacing was slow. Like in the original version, I don't remember it taking so long to get to the point where the Grinch wanted to steal Christmas. But in Illumination's version, almost an hour in, and the Grinch is finally starting to cause shit to happen. Like, the pacing was just too slow. That's probably why I got bored with the film. At one point, I think I even fell asleep during it. And I don't think it was simply because I was sleep deprived. So it's kind of the same thing with how I fell asleep during The Adventures of Buck Wild, you know, from the Ice Age series. So yeah, the film's pacing was quite slow. And the subplot involving Cindy Lou who, if we're going to use her full name, it's a stupid name, but whatever. Although that was probably, I wonder if that was her original name in the original film or the book. I don't remember. Maybe it was, but anyway. But yeah, it was a pointless story. Like, all she just does is set up a trap for Santa, and that's it. That's literally it. And she gets her friends to help her, and her friends are even less memorable than she is. It's just really fucking sad. Damn, both this and Buck Wild. Yeah, I'm sorry, but they were just very boring movies. Now with Hop, I was also bored with it, but I didn't fall asleep during it. I just paused it and went and did something else. But if I had been tired at the time, I probably would have fallen asleep during that movie too. Most of the movie is just nothing. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. This movie just drags its feet throughout, like, half of the film. And I was just like, I was even looking at this film's runtime, and I was like, how is this film this long? How is the film this long? If it, because I don't remember the original version being this long, and this film is like, how long? Let me look. Hold up. Damn, hold on. Somewhere here. 1 hour 26 minutes. Okay, so that's not super long, but still, like, that's still, like, the movie you could have knocked off, like, what, 20 or 30 minutes in the movie, like, just, like, I feel, yeah, like, this thing, most of the movie just feels like nothing actually happens other than some antics involving some antics, like, with the Grinch and his dog and whatever. Like, it's just, like, this film could have, that's probably why they added the subplot, because Illumination was like, ooh, we need more runtime with this film. Let's add a subplot involving the girl, which actually could have been good. I don't mind the idea of the subplot, but the execution is just crap. It's just crap. And as Thomas pointed out in the chat, it's very generic. Oh, child sees that their parent is working too hard and they want to help out. Okay. Sure. Okay. Then that's it. Oh wait, you weren't calling that generic, you were calling something else generic, Thomas. My bad. Well, I mean, my point still stands. The Grinch's backstory of not having a family during the holiday season is just generic. Sometimes it even causes him to do nice things before his redemption comes at the end of the movie. Yeah, which again is part of the reason why the Grinch didn't feel very Grinchy in this film. They really should have just done a different story, in my opinion. That would have helped the film a lot. Yeah, there were actually quite a number of filler scenes. I don't even remember Illumination's Grinch that much. That's how bland it is. Exactly, it's a very bland movie. Like, here, he captures a reindeer, but then lets it go later on because his family shows up. Right? So it's like, what was the point of all that? Although, to be fair, the reindeer does come later and save the Grinch from falling over a cliff with his sleigh. So it wasn't a complete waste of time, but still it was kind of a waste because it's like, okay, so now Max has to pull the sleigh. Okay, sure. You can't watch the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild because you don't have Disney Plus. Yeah, that's pretty stupid. You shouldn't really need Disney Plus to watch that, but that's Disney for you. That was pretty much the reason I got Disney Plus, and I was gonna stop using Disney Plus, but then I was like, oh, I can watch a lot of other Disney films too, both the old ones and the new ones, and some old and new Disney series as well. So I guess I'll just keep it, and I'll let my cousins use it. You know, Stephanie and her sisters. They've been using Disney Plus, my Disney Plus account, so they're happy about that. So I'm like, I'll just keep it. It's only like what, $8-9 a month, and I got to watch Lightyear on Disney Plus as well, which is not a good movie, but I already covered that yesterday. But yeah, this film is just very basic, very boring, very just not. There's really not a lot of it. Not there's really not much of a story in this one. Like if they wanted to pad out the runtime, they could have fleshed out more of the Grinch's backstory. They could have done that. Like they did put some of it in the film, but that's really it. Oh yeah, and I was gonna since I have Disney Plus, I can just watch Tangled. So yay. After I do two, I have one more Rantstream I plan to do, and then after that I'll stop doing Rantstreams for a while. And I'll take a break, and then hopefully when I come back from the break, I'll be able to. I'm gonna try not to do gaming videos right now, because I want to focus more on school. Which is also why I'm planning to stop the rant streams as well. But when I come back from the break, I should be able to do more stuff. But yeah, I'm just doing these movies as of now, and I've covered pretty much every Illumination movie. I covered all the Despicable Me and Minions movies. I've covered the Sing movies, the Secret Life of Pet movies, Hop, the Lorax, and but not least, though not by much, the Grinch. You use it for TV show binges like Amphibia, Tangled, and DuckTales. I've heard about DuckTales. I haven't watched it though. I'm thinking about watching it because it features this one. I think there are a few episodes that feature this one character named Darn Carnage, who was the antagonist of the old Disney cartoon Tailspin, which I watched like 6 episodes of. But I got bored with the show, so I stopped watching it. And the first 2 episodes are pretty trash. If you're wondering what Tailspin is, it's like they basically took the character Baloo, the bear from the Jungle Book movie, and gave him his own show. He's basically a pilot in that show, who fights against pirates. But yeah, that show I got bored of pretty quickly. But I might give DuckTales a try. Movie Sonic voices Dewey. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'll give DuckTales a try, and Tangled as well. Not gonna watch She-Hulk though. Sorry, not sorry. Nope. Nope, I don't need to see She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna start watching Disney Plus more. But so far I've used it for only like basically Lightyear and the Toy Story movies and the other Toy Story movies. Lightyear, the other Toy Story movies, and The Adventures of Buck Wild. Yeah, She-Hulk's trash. Amphibia's pretty good though. I should check that one out as well. And I should also check out the Cars movies because I've watched 1 and 2, but I haven't watched Cars 3. I know everyone hates 2, and everyone loved 1, and it seems that everyone likes 3, but I can't comment on 3 because I've never watched it. So I have the video games for it. I have like the PS4 version of the game, but I've never played it. Although it's on sale pretty much all the time, I think. On pretty much all the platforms: Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and by extension PS5 and Xbox Series, but whatever. But yeah, I will try to watch Cars 3 at some point. Cars 2 is a guilty pleasure. I agree. I actually don't hate it. I know people hate it, but I don't hate it. I didn't hate it. I was surprised people hate it. I remember watching it in theaters and I actually liked it, but people hated it. And I was like, I mean, yeah, it did have problems, but honestly, I didn't think. I still enjoyed the film. I didn't think it was all that bad. Oh, let me switch slides. My bad. But yeah, honestly, Cars 2 is just a guilty pleasure of mine. Yeah, it has problems, but I honestly didn't hate it. It was funny, it was entertaining, plenty of action. Yeah, the plot could have been better, but I enjoyed it. But I can't comment on 3. It's not as, I know that Cars 2 isn't as good as the first film, but I still liked it. I got so bored with The Grinch that I started talking about other movies. This movie is so basic. Oh my god. I'm even holding it in my hands right now. I mean, it's just... Oh yeah, I forgot. There are many movies of The Grinch and the Lorax. But for The Grinch, I believe the Lorax mini movies were okay. They were okay. They weren't great, but they weren't terrible either. They were okay. Illumination's mini movies are generally pretty crappy, but the Loraxes were okay. The Grinches, literally, I don't know why Illumination wants to put the Minions in every single fucking movie, but one of the shorts for the Grinch is it's just the Minions short, where the Minions escape jail with some big burly convict, and I'm just it was entertaining, but why is this on the Grinch? Illumination, stop putting your Minions everywhere. Why is this in this movie? Why is it on this disc? Why? Just why? I've never understood that. Help me understand, Illumination. Why? Oh, actually, no. I was wrong. 2 of the shorts for the Grinch are Minions movies. 2 of them, not just 1. 2 of them. I already talked about one where they escape from prison. 2 of them, anyway. And the other one is where they become elves for Santa Claus. And that one was entertaining too, but I'm why are both of these in the Grinch movie? Why are they not in the fucking any of the Minions movies? Why? The only one that actually takes place in the Grinch movie is the Dog Days of Winter, which that one was alright. That one was alright, but it was the only one that took place in the Grinch universe. So why Illumination? Why are you putting your Minions in every fucking movie of yours? That's annoying. But whatever. But in any case, the Hop didn't have any mini movies, and thank God. I would have hated them. But yeah, Hop is honestly, I feel like giving it less than a 3 out of 10. I feel like maybe a 2.5 out of 10. I feel like a 3 out of 10 might be too generous. Let me give it a 2.5 out of 10. Because this film just outright sucks. It's just very bad. And it had a few, and it had fucking James Marsden from the Sonic movies. and that woman, I forgot, the one who plays Penny from Big Bang Theory. I don't even remember what her. Let me look up her name. I think it's. Yeah, Haley Cuoco. Yeah, Kaylee Cuoco. Sorry, Kaylee Cuoco. Like she was in Hop as well, and so was. There was one other person. Oh yeah, David Hasselhoff. So James Marden, Kaylee Cuoco, David Hasselhoff, they were all in this film, Hop. And I'm like, that's just a waste of talent. They did not need to be in this film. They could have done so much better. Like, this movie wasted their potential, basically. But yeah, Hop sucks. Hop gets a 2.5 out of 10 for me. The Lorax gets a 4.5 out of 10. And the Grinch gets a 5.5 out of 10. And I think that's pretty much it for Illumination. I've watched and commented and ranted on every single Illumination movie. And how many are there? I think, let's see, 5 Despicable Me and Minions movies, 2 Sing movies, 2 Secret Life of Pet movies. So that's 9. So the Hop, the Lorax, and the Grinch would make 12. I think, right? Yeah. So that's 5, 9. Yeah, that's 12. So I've reviewed all 12 Illumination movies. Other than Despicable Me and maybe the first Sing movie and kind of the first Secret Life of Pets movie, they all just suck. Like, Illumination, try harder. Try a bit harder, fam. Like, you can tell that Illumination has the potential to do better. They have the potential to do better, but they don't. They just don't. They don't. They could do better, but they don't care to. They just do the bare minimum. That's how they work. And it's frustrating. And I'm done. I'm glad to be done with their movies. Although from what I've heard, they are coming up with the, like, you know, they're making this Mario film, and it's going to be a disaster. I can sense that it's going to be a disaster. It's because it's Illumination we're talking about. Although, to be fair, I did like Minions: The Rise of Gru. That one was also something I call good. So so not all of Illumination's movies are terrible. Despicable Me was good. The Rise of Gru was good. But everything else just ranges from meh to bleh. I think out of all these movies that I've watched in theaters, I think out of all these movies, the only ones that I watched in theaters were Despicable Me 3, The Rise of Gru, and The Secret Life of Pets 2. Everything else I just watched either on a streaming service like Vudu or Movies Anywhere, or on Blu-ray or DVD. But anyway. But yeah, I watched all 12 movies. Oh my god. I'm glad to be done with that shit. Now, maybe I should rank... should I rank all the Illumination movies? Because, like, I feel like that's a hard thing to do. Because it's like, where do I start? I guess I can try. So let me try ranking all the Illumination movies. I'll have to, like, open up my previous presentations in a different tab. Let's see. So I'm gonna have to open that one in a new tab. And so I got Sing and Secret Life of Pets. Where else? Oh, Despicable Me movies, duh. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna look at my scores for these and then just rank everything accordingly. Okay. From decent to just lackluster to outright bad. Like aside from Despicable Me 1 and Rise of Gru and maybe the first Sing movie, like really every movie from Illumination is just, it ranges from okay to just trash. But anyway, let me just go ahead and get started with this. Okay, so let's see. I rank. Let me start with Despicable Me. Okay, so I'd say the first one is Despicable Me. Despicable Me 1. Okay. Let's see. The Rise of Gru. Minions, The Rise of Gru. Despicable Me 3. I gave Despicable Me 2 a 6.5 out of 10. I don't think it deserves that. I think it deserves a harsher score. But whatever. I feel like the Minions should have gotten like a 5.5, and Despicable Me should have gotten this. Despicable Me 2 should have gotten a 6, but whatever. Anyway, let's see. So which one should I put next? I don't know. It's hard to say because they all just suck. Except for a few. I guess Minions and then Despicable Me 2. Okay, let me look at my other. Let me put Sing 1 here. The Secret Life of Pets can go here. The first one, anyway. Anything else? Hey, Blue Wolf, what's up? I'm just ranking all of Illumination Entertainment's movies. Yeah, they generally suck. Well, maybe it's fair to say that they generally are lackluster. Some of them suck, some of them are okay, some of them are good, but there's just no consistent level of quality, really. The Secret Life of Pets 2. Sing 2. Okay, so now I have to put in Hop, the Lorax, and the Grinch. Let me put the. I guess I can put the Grinch here. The Lorax can go here. This is just my personal ranking, really. I'm just basing them on off the scores I gave these movies in other rant streams. Okay, and I need to put in Hop, which is obviously at the very bottom. Okay, so that's how I'd rank these. Actually, you know what? Let me change this. There, that's better. Okay, I guess that's okay. Yeah, I guess that's okay. That's how I'd rank all these movies. So I'd rank Despicable Me 1 as number 1. Despicable Me 3 as number 2. Number 3 would be Minions: The Rise of Gru. Number 4 would be Sing 1. Number 5 would be Minions. Number 6 would be Despicable Me 2. Number 7 would be The Grinch. Number 8 would be The Secret Life of Pets 1. Number 9 would be The Lorax. Number 10 would be The Secret Life of Pets 2. Number 11 would be Sing 2. And number 12 would be Hop at the very bottom. Because Hop just sucks. And Despicable Me 1 is actually good. Anyway. That's all I have to say. And I know some of you won't agree with my list. That's fine. It's fine. Because this is pretty subjective. Well, not entirely. I did try to be objective as well. Because really, objectively speaking, Despicable Me 1 blows every movie on this list out of the water. It just does. It's the best one that Illumination has made. It just is. And it's Illumination's first film too, so like, how did they fuck up how did they fuck up with so many of the other films? Like, their very first film is their best one, and surprisingly they have failed to like get to that level again for many of the other films, and I'm like, why, Illumination? What's going on? Like, I guess Illumination kind of started off caring about their movies, but then they just got lazy. But that's just me. Like, regarding my list here. Like, it's just me. This is just how I feel about the rankings here. But yes, I've watched all the Illumination movies. Thank God it's over. I didn't have to, but I wanted to, and now I'm glad I did. So I can just, ow, I hurt myself. But now I can just boot those. Like just push those aside and focus on other things. Because I covered a lot of DreamWorks movies, but I don't think I haven't covered all of them. How many more have I not covered? Let me see. Because I know, let's see, I haven't covered, well, I was going to cover Ants, Shark Tale, and the 2 Boss Baby movies in a different Rantstream, so I'm not going to worry about those. But I haven't covered The Prince of Egypt, The Road to El Dorado, Chicken Run, Spirits, Dawn of the Cimarron, Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, The Croods, Turbo, Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and I haven't covered Trolls or the sequel, World Tour, or Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, or Abominable, or the Croods sequel, Spirit Untamed. Okay. Now, I have watched both Trolls movies, as well as the Captain Underpants movie, and I think those are all the ones I've watched among the ones I mentioned. I haven't watched the Croods movies, or Turbo, or Mr. Peabody and Sherman, or Chicken Run and the Wallace and Gromit movie. I remember watching those, but that was like years ago. Many years ago. So yeah, it's just that the other ones I've never watched. Anyway, so let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh wait, no, fuck. I have to start over. Oh shit. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. let me just include the ones. No, let me not do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven, 8, 9, 10. Damn. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Damn, 15. Well, technically 19. But I didn't count 4 because I was going to cover those in the next rant stream. But that's like... But yeah, DreamWorks has made a lot of shit, so... How much of their movies have I even covered? Let me look. Let's see. There was a Shrek series. All 6 movies. And then the Madagascar movies. All 4 movies. The How to Train Your Dragon movies. All 3. So let's see. 6, 4, 3. That's 13. And then you have... B-movie Over the Hedge, Flush the Lane Home, that's another 4. So that's 17. And then Rise of the Guardians, Monsters vs. Aliens, Megamind the Bad Guys, that's 21. So that's... I've covered 21 of their films, and I have 19 more to go. So I'm like halfway through. And that's assuming I go and finish them. I want to finish them, but I don't want to like do it all at once, so... But yeah. Okay, well, anyway, let me just go ahead and end the rant stream. But next time I'm gonna do 4 more DreamWorks movies: Shark Tale, Ants, the first Boss Baby movie, and then the second one, Family Business. So, but anyway. The end. That's basically it for this rant stream. 2.5 hours. Not as long as last time, but I had only 3 movies to talk about, and there really wasn't much to say, so that's not surprising. But yeah, I'm just glad to be done with Illumination shit. I'm just worried about the new Mario film that they're making. I'm just worried about it. And I think, are they making anything? Are they making... Oh yeah, and they're apparently making Despicable Me 4. And I'm just like... Why? Why are you making the Despicable Me 4? Why? Oh, why? Oh... Like, you could just stop with number 3. Like, don't make a 4th one, please. But then again, they're making a Kung Fu Panda 4 movie. DreamWorks, that is. So... I mean, I'm hoping that one doesn't suck either. But... I don't know, we'll just have to see. But yeah, that's the end of Rantstream, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. This was really fun. Bye, Thomas and Gabe and Blue Wolf and Tanman and Maple and anyone else who showed up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing to the discussion, for listening to my ranting, which was kind of disorganized, but I tried my hardest. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to have to end the rant stream now, though, but that's okay, because all good things must come to an end at some point, as I used to say in my early live streams of games. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this. I'm TwoMiller15, and I'll see you guys next time. So until then, deuces and goodbye.